So I'm on location today at Sid's house. He has a couple of questions for me. What's on your mind?
Well, I've noticed on some of my tables that I have a lot of artwork that's ready to go. It's looking pretty good, but on some of my other tables, I don't have anything. And I want to know how to fix that. Also, when I load a table, I have some graphics that I've worked really hard to upload to my system, but it compresses everything into like a small within the T-bar, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix that as well.
Okay, so today we're going to answer those questions. So without any further delay, let's coin in and push that start button. So first, what we need to do is we need to get your cabinet completely configured, make sure your V2S server is up and operational, and get everything in every table looking the way that you want it to look, and then we can start with your artwork. So let's go ahead and we'll start into that now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our pinball folder. So that's mine. I'm going to go into Vpinball, Visual Pinball, and the Tables folder. This is where everything for B2S is stored. And the first thing that we want to do is make sure that B2S is configured correctly. So if you have B2S and you do the regular install, it'll put something on your back glass. However, some tables now have a back glass and a full screen DMD B2S file. So the first thing you want to do is you want to come into this screen res identifier. So here's all three of my screens. We're going to go right into the B2S screen res identifier. And then from here, the first thing you want to do is identify if you have 1 screen, 2 screen, or 3 screen. I have 3. And you should see a little parameter window on all your other screens come up that you can move around. And what you want to do is you just want to take them to full screen. And I'll come over here to my other monitor, and you should see this pop up somewhere, and you're just going to take it and put it at your full screen setting, just like that. And then you can adjust the size, and if you know the dimensions of your screen, that really helps. So I want this location to be at 0, and I know that that's the screen size, and displaying 3, I've got the DMD full and the back glass in the correct location. So as long as you know what your screen resolution is, you can put that in there. So this, on my full DMD, it's a little bit off. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. And as soon as you click off of it, it'll update. So once you hit Save Settings, you can verify that it's saved by scrolling down. There's the one I just made. Yep, that time lines up. And I like to just double click on it and see what it's set. So that is correct. And now, if I go back into my table folder, let's do Attack from Mars. So for this B2S file, has a full DMD with it. So if I launch Attack from Mars, we should now see a full screen DMD. Switch back over to cabinet view. And now if I launch Attack from Mars, right here, we should see the full screen DMD load up on the full DMD, which is the bottom screen on the right. And there it is. Now with this, we can come in here, see here's my DMD. If you want to resize this or reposition this, you can. I'm going to move this so that it's right in the corner. And then I'm going to resize this so that it is also right down here in the corner, like that. And then if you want to save this for this table, you're just going to right click on the DMD and hit save position for that ROM file, just like that. And then anytime I load this table, it's now going to be set right here in that position. and it'll work just fine. So.
Business reports are coming in from all over the world. The Earth is under attack.
All right, now for another table, like, let's see, one of the other ones that I have, I think is Bride of Pinbot, has a full DMD as well. So for this one, you can tell that I don't have a full DMD on my display right here. That's because I have turned it off. This B2S file puts all the information that's on the DMD right here. It also gives you all this nice information that just looks cleaner. And the way you do that is you click F1, and you just come over here and make sure that use the external DMD is turned off. That way it won't show the DMD. Once you do that and make sure it's unclicked, you just click OK. And it won't take effect for you until you quit and then reload the table once again. And the idea in doing this is, prior to us creating some artwork that actually looks like the table's in attract mode, and that's what I want to do. I want to take a screen recording of all three of these screens so that when I'm switching between the tables, what you see in it is the attract mode. I'm not really a fan of watching a recording of somebody play pinball. I want it to be in an attract mode, and if you want to add sound, you can, and I add extra artwork in there to make it look nice. So we're going to go into that now, but first, before you do any of that, you just want to take your time and make sure that you have every table set up the way that you want it to be on all three or all your displays. If you can't find a file online that has a full DMD B2S file, all you got to do is come up to the Pinup Popper setup tool, click Media Manager, and we'll scroll down here to Circus Voltaire. All right. So right here on the full apron, if you click on the global, other people have provided a whole bunch of other nice pieces of artwork that you can play. But what this does is it plays a continuous video on the full screen DMD. And what it does is it leaves a little spot where you can put your DMD. And your DMD will be overlaid on top of that image. So this is what the one looks like that I downloaded from my Circus Voltaire. And right here where it says Circus Voltaire, the DMD will be overlaid right here, and this video will continuously play in a loop forever and ever and ever until I close down that table. Now, with tables like Batman 66, there is always going to be a full apron display on there, and when I do my screen recording of the full DMD, it will still play this video in the background. It'll just put the full DMD over top of the artwork that is playing in the background. So you need to be careful when you're making recordings of the full DMD. You want to make sure that your audio is muted so that it doesn't continuously play, in this example, the Batman theme song from the television show, because you'll hear that the entire time that you're playing your pinball software. So this will always be running in the background on tables like more modern tables, the more modern Stern tables, such as Deadpool, Iron Maiden, and some of the other more modern ones. So you really got to be careful with what you're going to record and make sure that this is turned off, because this will always play. All right. Like this file will always be playing in the background, and if there was audio associated with this, the audio would be playing at the same time. So that doesn't apply to the playfield or the backlash. Those go away and the audio goes away. The audio here will go away. The launch audio goes away. This is the only one that when you launch, and if you load a file here, if you don't have it, the audio turned off, it'll play continuously in the background. All right. All right, now we're going to go into how to get some of the artwork. So I'm just going to go into the pinup folder, or we're going to go into the Popper config. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and load in all your tables through the Games Manager. I've already done all that for me. So now we're going to go into the Media Manager. Okay. So this is a semi starting from scratch artwork for my cabinet. All right, I'm keeping the launch audio that I have here. If I wanted to have audio in here, you just click here and you can download the files. Same with the info flyer and the help and the wheel image. I chose to have an animated image. It won't show up as animated, but in the background this is animated, and that's what I chose for my Attack from Mars. All right, for your loading screen, this is where things get a little tricky, because Sid was asking, how do I make it so that my loading file doesn't show up in my T-Arc, and how do I make the T-Arc go away? And this answer is a two-parter. If you have an N-Videa graphics card, you're just going to click on the global, and then you're going to type in the word blank. And then depending on whether or not you have a 4K display, you'll select 4K. If you have an HD display or 1080p like me, you would click on this HD version of it. And this is a blank T-Arc. It basically will make it empty. This file will not work if you have an AMD graphics card. Instead of using that file, because this computer has an AMD, you'll need to go to this page that I have a link to in the description, and this is the AMD T-Arc blank loading file for the video file and fix. You're going to need to download this, and I keep it saved right here to my desktop because I use this for every single table. You're going to have to, if you want the T-Arc to go away, you have to load this file in for every single table. So what I'm going to do is I have Attack from Mars selected, and like once again, if you have the N-Videa, you download from the global. If you have the AMD, you got to download from the web page. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop this right into loading, right? And that goes straight to the T-Arc. Now, if I want a full screen Attack from Mars, I typically like what First has. Let me see what he has for this one.
We are invincible.
See, I like that one. Let me see this one real quick. See, I'm going to use this one for the alternate cabinet that I have for this that actually has the Mars Attacks artwork on it. So I'm going to go with this one.
We are.
And that'll look really nice. And I'm going to hit download the video. And you see how it put put both of them in the loading screen? Now we need to tell the popper which one is which. So we're going to come down in here, go to Vpinball, Pinup System, Media, Visual Pinball X. And we're going to come down here to loading and see we have the two for Attack from Mars. This one makes it blank. This one needs to be on square. It needs to be the screen that is your playfield. So for me, that is screen 3. And all I'm going to do is come over here, create a parentheses, and then in all caps, type in screen 3. Close the parentheses, hit enter. And what that does is that screen 3 right there tells Popper that this T-Arc will be blank and this loading file will appear on my playfield monitor. All right, I've done that for almost all my other tables except for a few. I like having a little bit of T-Arc stuff, so I've kept a few T-Arcs that I like, and then I'm going to minimize. Now, before I do any of the recordings for the playfield, the full DMD, and the backglass, I want to make sure that this took what it needed to take, and if you look, it didn't. So now I got to figure out which one it was. So it's the MP4, and all I got to do is right click and hit remove file, yes, and it reloads the file again as screen 3. So now if I close this, I'll give you my pinball view and hit exit and launch. there's my artwork for Attack from Mars for my...
We are invincible. We are invincible.
T-Arc goes away. And notice that it loaded perfectly fine with the B2S file and everything else. Now I'm going to talk about how to get the screen capturing for the 3 different monitors. I'm going to go into the AMD Adrenalin software, and what I want Adrenalin to do is Adrenalin is actually not bad for doing this, and there may be another method that's pretty easy to do, but I'm going to come in here and tell it that I want to do a screen recording on display number 3, and I have also in the settings assigned a hotkey to start recording my screen when I hit Alt number 1. Well, 1 is my start button and Alt is one of the trigger keys on the outside of my cabinet. So when I push the trigger key and the start button, it'll start recording, and then when I push a trigger key again and start again, it'll stop the recording. And that's exactly what I want Adrenalin to do. So I will come over here and just keep Adrenalin up and running, and I will go into Popper.
We are invincible.
Okay, now that it is loaded, I'm going to push Alt Start. And it's starting to record. So I'm going to let it record for just a few minutes. This is the attract mode. You don't have to, actually you don't have to make it minutes. You can make it seconds. Okay, that was plenty long enough. I just stopped it. And now I'm going to exit. And there you go. Now that I have that recording, here to my video file. So I just clicked on videos, Radeon Relive or Relive. And I'm going to open it with Clipchamp. And if you don't have Clipchamp, it's actually a really good video editing software for what I'm doing. I'm going to just hit create new video. And we'll drag and drop it in there. And then drag and drop it right here. And at the very beginning, I have this now recording sign here from where Adrenalin started capturing. And what I want to do is I'm just going to advance the video until it disappears. Shrink this down. And then at the tail end here, we're going to delete this gap. And I'm just going to play through. And it's just a few seconds. So like you can make this a solid minute if you wanted. I like to keep mine right at 10 seconds. And then it'll restart the loop. But what you want to make sure at the tail end is that you don't have the Adrenalin saying, hey, we stopped our recording. So I'm just making all my playfield files to keep them short, 10 seconds. All right. And then from there, just click export. 1080p is the resolution of my monitor. And then I say open file and folder. Close that down. And there it is. So now we'll go back into the media manager. Attack from Mars. Now I'm going to take this video and place it right down on my playfield. And it will rename it to that. All right. And the reason why I like doing this is because there are so many other tables out there, and there are so many other files that other people have loaded for Attack from Mars. They all look a little bit different than what it actually looks like on my cabinet. So this will actually be an accurate representation of what I currently have on my cabinet. If you want to download the global file, you're totally welcome to do that. These are all, they look nice. I mean, you can pick one if you want, but sometimes you may have a table that nobody has created artwork for. So this is the process on how you do it to get it on the playfield. And then when you want to get your full apron and your full back glass, you're just going to do the same thing all over again with Adrenaline. So I'll get it ready to record. I'm going to switch down to screen number 1, which is my full DMD. What's nice about doing it like this is I can go through every single table, launch every single table one at a time, and hit the cabinet button and start, and I can make all the recordings for all of one particular monitor really quickly without having to exit. Okay, so now I'm just going to advance this a little bit to where it says game over. Shrink it down, kill the gap, and then drag it over here to the end where it says game over again, right there. That's what I want, from game over to game over. This creates a loop. And from there, same thing as before, 1080p. There it is. Show in folder, minimize. Now we'll click on Popper, Media Manager, Attack from Mars. This was it, and we take and drag and drop onto full apron, and it saved it. Now, I'm going to do this one more time for the back glass, so we'll go back over here to record. Change it to screen number 2 because that's my back glass, and now that's ready to go. Attack from Mars. Video number 6, back glass. And that is how I get my custom artwork. Now I'm going to close, and these files that we just made over here, we don't need those anymore. Because if you come over and you look in your Pinup Popper folder and then go to Media and then Visual Pinball, we can look at back glass. And the Attack from Mars was renamed to what the actual table file is named. So these files are now just wasting space. So I can actually come over here and delete all these. And it doesn't have an effect on any of the files because the files are here. So I'll close that, close that. We'll go back over to a full cabinet view, exit and launch. I'm inside, and there is all the nice artwork that I just custom created for this cabinet. The key takeaway was that I had the cabinet completely set up the way that I wanted to, and I went in and set each screen to record differently. If you have N-Videa, N-Videa has a very similar tool, or you can use the Microsoft screen capture software that's built into it, or you can use OBS, but it's all going to be very similar. Just for giggles, I'll launch it.
We are invincible. We are invincible.
There you go. And it looks just like what the attract mode looks like. So did that answer all your questions?
That answered all my questions. That was actually pretty easy to follow.
Good. Well, that wraps up this video. Thank you everyone for watching. If you learned something today, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel grow if you share it with some friends, so be sure to do that. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next one.
You can even subscribe.
So I redo it.
No, that's perfect.